My shift started like any other, running late, coffee half cold, and my bag slung over one shoulder while trying to hold a foil-wrapped sandwich in the other. I worked reception at Landon and Pierce Accounting, which meant dealing with coffee orders, visitor badges, and pretending not to be invisible when the partners walked by. That morning the city felt sharper, colder, and somehow lonelier. I'd just turned onto Lexington Avenue when I saw him, huddled beneath a bus shelter layered in worn jackets, a baseball cap tugged low. His cardboard sign read, "Just hungry." "Anything helps." I paused. People streamed around me like water, rushing to meetings, to errands, to lives that didn't have time for cardboard signs. But I did. I stepped forward and knelt, offering the foil-wrapped sandwich I'd made the night before. "I didn't have time to heat it up," I said almost apologetically. He looked up, startled. "You're giving this to me?" I nodded. "It's chicken and avocado. Hope that's okay." He slowly took it, hands weathered and shaking. "Thank you. What's your name?" "Callie," I replied. "Yours?" A small smile tugged at the edge of his lips. "Max." I smiled back. "Take care, Max." Then I hurried off, late again, but oddly lighter. When I got to the office, I was met with the usual chaos. The phones were ringing, Janine was yelling about someone stealing her almond milk, and my supervisor, Janet, gave me the look. "You're 5 minutes late," she snapped. "I had to—" "No excuses. A client is coming in today. Be useful." I sighed, nodded, and went about my day. But something about Max lingered. I had no idea I'd see him again, or that in less than 72 hours he'd be the one asking me if I wanted a promotion. Friday came faster than I expected. I was sorting mail behind the reception desk, trying to ignore Janine's rant about her missing lunch, again, when the office doors swung open and a group of sharply dressed men and women strolled in. All conversation stopped. At the center of the group was a tall man in a charcoal blazer and dark jeans. His face was freshly shaven, his hair combed back, but I recognized him instantly. Maximum. My jaw dropped. He didn't look anything like the man I gave a sandwich to. The dirt was gone, the coat replaced, the exhaustion in his eyes replaced with purpose. Janet rushed over, practically tripping over her own heels. "Mr. Maxwell Turner, we're honored. We didn't know you'd be visiting in person." Maxwell Turner? The Maxwell Turner? As in the investor who just bought a majority stake in Landon and Pierce? My stomach flipped. He gave Janet a polite smile, but his eyes locked onto mine. A flicker of recognition passed between us. He tilted his head, subtle, almost playful. "Morning," he said. I nodded, stunned, muttering, "Good morning." The room buzzed with whispers as he walked past. Everyone was dying to know why he was there. At noon, Janet summoned the entire staff to the main conference room. Max stood at the front, calm and confident. "As many of you know, I've recently taken a controlling interest in Landon and Pierce," he began. "And with that comes change. We're restructuring, starting fresh. I'll be working closely with department leads and observing operations firsthand." Then he paused and looked directly at me. "And I'll also be hiring a new executive assistant. Someone observant, grounded, who sees people, not just titles." The entire room turned toward me. I wanted to melt into the floor. Max smiled. "We'll talk soon, Callie." I couldn't focus for the rest of the day. My thoughts kept spinning like a dryer on full speed. Why hadn't he said anything earlier? Why hadn't he mentioned he was that Max? At 4:30 p.m., I got the email. Subject: "Meet me in conference room B, 5 p.m. Max. My palms were sweaty as I stepped into the room. Max was standing by the window watching the sun slide behind the skyline. He turned when I entered. "Hey, Callie." "Hi," I said, fidgeting with my sleeves. He gestured to a chair. "Sit, please." I sat. "I owe you an explanation," he began. "The day you met me, I was testing something." "Testing," I echoed. He nodded. "Every quarter I go undercover." Not in disguise exactly, but stripped of my wealth, my name, my security. I walk the city, live rough, talk to people, see who looks past the surface. I blinked, stunned. I've been burned before, he said, surrounded by people who only cared about the name, the account balance. But you gave your only lunch to someone you thought could give you nothing. I swallowed hard. I didn't do it to impress anyone. I know, he said, eyes warm. That's why it mattered. Silence hung between us. I'd like to offer you a new role, he continued. You'll work directly with me, learn from me, and eventually, you'll manage your own department. My mouth fell open. Why me? I whispered. Because you treat people like people, he said. And because I trust you. That word hit harder than I expected. Trust. It had been a long time since I'd heard that and believed it. On Monday, I started my new role. Gone were the front desk duties, the endless calls, the coffee runs. I had an office now, a laptop that wasn't ancient, my name on the door. It should have felt incredible, but it didn't. Not yet. Janet barely looked at me anymore. Janine made loud, sarcastic comments in the break room like, nice to see good deeds come with six-figure salaries. I tried to ignore it. Focus on the work. Max was brilliant. Focused. He walked me through reports, client meetings, expansion plans, but even though he was professional, I could feel it, this undercurrent of something else. One afternoon, while reviewing numbers from the regional branch, I noticed a discrepancy, a huge one. Hey, I said, knocking on his office door. You have a minute? He waved me in. I found something in the Denver books, I said. Anomalies. Repeating wire transfers to a closed vendor. He leaned in, brows narrowing. How much? About $400,000 across 6 months. Max stood slowly. Callie, he said, you just found a leak in our finance system. I froze. Is that bad? For them? Yes. For you? It's a test you just passed. We launched a quiet investigation. Within 2 days, the regional director was placed on leave pending review. And I realized something then. This wasn't just a new job. It was a proving ground. Friday came. Again. I was settling into the rhythm. Max trusted me more. I started leading meetings, handling vendors, and even proposing a new mentorship program for junior staff. That's when the email came. Subject, we need to talk. Jared. My stomach flipped. Jared, my ex. We hadn't spoken in nearly a year, not since he walked out the night I got laid off, said I was dragging him down. Now he wanted to talk. Why? I met him in a crowded cafe across town. He showed up in a suit, clean, confident. Callie, he smiled, you look amazing. What do you want, Jared? He sat. I saw you on LinkedIn. New job. Executive assistant to Maxwell Turner? That's insane. I crossed my arms. Why do you care? He leaned in. Because I want in. I blinked. Excuse me? You've got access now. I've got ideas, tech stuff, funding pitches. You get me 5 minutes with Turner. We both win. I stood. No. Callie, he said quickly. You owe me. I owe you nothing, I snapped. You left when I needed you most. He grabbed my arm. Not hard, but firm. I don't think you realize the opportunity you're wasting. That's when I saw Max, standing near the register. He'd seen everything. Max didn't say anything until we were outside. Jared had already stormed off, muttering something about missed opportunities. The air was cold. Do you know how I know you're different, Callie? Max asked softly. I shook my head. Because even with everything you've been through, people abandoning you, doubting you, you never stoop. You don't scheme. You don't climb by stepping on others. My eyes welled. I just want to earn it. You have. He handed me a small envelope. Inside, a promotion letter. Executive strategy advisor, salary, travel, a full team to mentor. I stared at it, stunned. I trust you, Max said. Not just with the business, with the future of this company. I laughed through tears. This is insane. I was just the receptionist. He smiled. You were never just anything.